Thank you very much. Former Chief of Staff Julius, and there are too many people to recognize. Let me thank you very much for answering to this call. Notice was very short, and I'm happy that we've been able to bring as many of you together as we have. We haven't had the opportunity to meet since we handed over the reins of government to the new administration. And I didn't really get the opportunity to say my thank you to all of you for the work that you did in supporting me to achieve what we were able to achieve over the period that Ghanaians gave us the privilege of serving in office. And so I thought that bringing you here this afternoon to say a proper thank you to all of you was appropriate. And so let me say a big thank you to every single one of you for the role that you played in government, in any position that you were, and what you did. In the monumental achievements that we chalked, I believe that you must hold your heads high because that government did a lot for this country. And I do believe that posterity will be the judge eventually. We did a lot to improve the infrastructure of the country. And often infrastructure is a thing that people take for granted. Once you have it, you have a good road. So yes, what next? And so I remember I noticed that in the campaign we're swimming virtually upstream. It's easier to be in opposition and criticize and promise heaven. But often when you're in government, your message is limited because you know what the capacity of the economy, can grant and can't grant. And so I think it's a necessary learning curve that our country is going through. And we shouldn't feel depressed or feel ashamed about our service in government. Our service in government was outstanding, and we must continue to defend the legacy of that government. But often in life, outcomes like this are important in order to allow any organization to regroup, refocus, and go back into battle. If you go into battle and the battle is continuous and you don't have a little break to step back and look at your strategy and see how to make yourself more effective in battle, often than not, you are not as effective as you should be. So I believe that this is an opportunity for us to step back, regroup, and then look at how we go forward again. I'm happy to see all of you. You are looking very relaxed, less stressed. Most of you, I could see gray beard and wrinkles coming. Suddenly, some of the beard is becoming black again. It means that you're having more opportunity to relax and not be as stressed. But one of the things I'll stress in opposition is you need a more united front than even when you're in government. Because in our part of the world, not only in our part of the world, but even if you look at what's happening in United States and other places, there's that kind of partisan acrimony, accusations of wiretapping and all kinds of things. So you can see that it doesn't happen only in Ghana. But in Ghana, it takes, more, base forms like raiding people's houses in the morning, looking for vehicles. I mean, if you can't look for vehicles in a more civilized manner than having shock troops going into people's houses, breaking down their gates, and say you're looking for vehicles, you can't go to DVLA and look through the database and find out what government vehicles are. Then what kind of efficiency do we have in governance? Just this morning, I hear Ajekum's house was raided. Before that, Ajenim Boateng, everybody. And they would always come back and apologize because those are not vehicles that belong to the state. And so the government is telling me they can't find a more efficient manner of looking for vehicles than forming storm troops to raid people's houses. And I think that it's wrong. I'm going to have the opportunity to tell Nana Addo that, he should stop this. Happily, he's asked to meet retired ex-presidents, myself, President Kufuor, and President Rawlings on the 18th. And if I go to that meeting, I'm going to tell him, this cannot continue. This thuggery is not good for our country. And the point is, we thought we had had a good transition, but it sets examples that make it difficult, in future when there's another transition for another government to be able to restrain party supporters. Because all this thuggery, removing people from offices, beating them and things, it's unfortunate. And so we must say it in the strongest terms. If they heed it, that's fine. If they don't, it is a learning curve for our whole country. I've been meeting with FEC and the elders. The chairman of the party is now the leader according to our constitution, but all of us are members of the party. We've served at a high level of government, and so we have a role to play, both as ex-president, as ex-vice president, as ministers of state, and our fortunes are tied in with the party, and we're committed members of the party, so we must work to make sure that we put the party in a state where it is able to contribute to the progress of this country, even in opposition, by making sure that we provide the kind of opposition that safeguards the interests of the people. And that's why we need to rally around together as quickly as possible. The unfortunate developments that are taking place, we've set up a committee that is supposed to go around and analyze the reasons for our loss. People are not taking advantage of the committee. They're going on air and saying this person was the cause of our loss, that person was the cause of our loss. But I've said our loss, the cause of our loss is multifaceted. And we need to do a careful analysis of it, get the report, and be able to break down exactly what resulted in our loss. Of course, as the general who led us into battle, I take ultimate responsibility for our losing the election. And so if it will satisfy those people, blame me for the loss. Yes, we lost. We should have done some things better. But let's use this opportunity as a learning opportunity to be able to make sure that we don't make the same mistakes that we did in 2016. I believe for people talking about leadership and presidency, it's absolutely premature. If you ride a lame horse into a race and you lose the race, your priority must be to cure the lameness of the horse and not about who will ride the horse again. You have to cure the horse and make sure it's no longer lame. And once you have a fit, healthy horse, it will throw up who the jockey should be. And so absolutely, I believe that the issue of leadership is based on the dynamic of the time. If we do our work well, we do good branch reorganization, bring it to the constituency level, to the regional level, and have a strong, healthy party, the dynamic of the time will determine who should lead the party. And I am saying that whoever leads the party, I'm a committed member, I'll support that person to the hilt. And so going on air and blaming so and so for this and that, I don't think it helps the unity. At this time, we must be standing together. Some say young people surrounded so and so. I mean, just say I don't like the people, not that they are young. Because all those people you are referring to are about 40 years. How you can call a 40-year-old man with a wife and children a young man surrounding the president? I cannot understand. When I became minister, deputy minister, to my brother Kospio Gabra, I was 39 years old. Yes, we were young, but we served and served properly. I'm sure Spio was in his 40s at the time. You can't say he was a small boy. In the revolutionary period, all those who surrounded, President Rawlings were in their 20s and 30s. I'm sure if you take how many years since the revolution from Uncle Atu's age or Uncle Kwame's age, they must have been in their 30s or so. And so it's not about age. Our party has always given opportunity to young people. That is what we are. And so if we lose, we cannot blame young people for our loss. And the point is the demographic of Ghana is shifting in favor of young people, 35 and below, 60% of our population. So if you want to appoint appointees, where are you going to get them from? And you need those young people to gain experience to become what you consider the older and experienced people. And so I think we should stop chasing the wind. There's a time to stand together. Happily, the functional executive have recommended a NEC meeting. And so that NEC meeting will be called in the next few weeks. And I'm sure that some of these same issues will come up before NEC. And they'll be able to give us a calendar for reorganization, even as we wait for the report of the Kwesi Botwe Committee. We can put in the process of beginning the branch reorganization, looking at the register. The register was one of the major issues that people complained about, whether we have a credible register, even for the kinds of parliamentary, presidential, and constituency and national executive elections that we're going to hold. These are issues that we need to begin to discuss at this time. And it doesn't help anybody to go on air, accusing one or the other, And the point is, the more we do that, we show a divided front, and it makes it easier for our opponents to deal with us one by one. And so I'll just appeal. You are all ministers. You have influence over all kinds of, constituents of the party. Let us call everybody to order. It shouldn't be about NDC. Why is the media so anxious to give us so much airtime today? Before the elections, they didn't come chasing you to ask you what you think. All the airtime was going to our opponents. Then all of a sudden now, as much airtime, the prime time morning shows, they are looking for NDC people and saying, what's your comment about what's happening in your party? And it's about the NDC today. Why should it be about the NDC? The Democrats lost. Who is talking about the Democrats in America? It's about Trump and the new administration. They're collecting the people's taxes. They should be, what is the focus of media attention? Why is the NDC the focus of media attention at this time? It just shows that there is a certain deviousness to try and make this about the NDC and not about who is in government and how they are fulfilling their promises. And unfortunately, we're falling into the trap. We're all lining up, to be interviewed. And the point is, you might say something harmless, but all they're looking for is one word. And once they pick it, they take it, put their own interpretation to it. By the time you come back and say, I didn't say this, and now people are running and say, I didn't say this, I didn't say this. But you created the opportunity in the first place. So let me thank you very much. And once again say that I'm proud of the work we all did together. We had a very, very good relationship. And I think that we're effective in virtually every sector in which we operated. And we left quite a legacy for this country. And we shouldn't feel ashamed or have our heads bowed in any way. Let's continue to defend that legacy and that record, because it's the same legacy we would run on. In 2020, whether you like me or not, you like Professor Mills or not, it is that term of office that we're going to run on as our record. And so we must defend it even during this period, so that we're able to use it as the stepping stone, whoever is in leadership, to be able to bring the party back into power. So thank you very much, and God bless us all. Thank you.